and you can scroll through. So I have lousy now, and I have tile test. Anything that's open, so you have your edit mode here. Edit mode, not everything is available yet. What's available as of right now, which is enough to start building, is tiles, which is the ground, and static meshes. Everything else is going to have no menu available. There's also not much as far as stats right now. All it's going to give you is the tile count. So if you're trying to change something in this box right here for the texture, you can put your mouse anywhere in this box and cycle through the available textures. You can also, if you're working out here, just hold Control and scroll, and you'll scroll through. If you're not holding Control, it's not gonna change it. Once you're doing that, pick a texture, click. Pick a different texture, click. You're good to go. And that's going to set up textures however you want, wherever you want. To add more ground tiles, you're going to hold Control. Down is going to add more rows. Right is going to add more columns. Left will remove a column. Up will remove a row. So you can add them. You have a tile count to your left. You have this compass that's always going to tell you what direction a tile is going to face. If you look right now, I grab this tile right here, and you can see it's got the rocks on the top there. The compass is facing that way, so you know the top of that texture is going to be oriented with that compass. So that's always there to help you out. You can hit I to get rid of that, to get rid of the UI if you don't want to see it. You can change your default camera speed by hovering over the default speed and scrolling. That's going to change that default speed. You can change your alt speed as well. Your alt speed is done by holding Shift. You hold right mouse click, just like Unity, to move the camera around. When you're holding the right mouse click, you can ASDW to move. Left Shift is going to give you that alt speed. So again, you can adjust that however you see fit, and it's going to display your camera position up here. That's really all there is for tiles. Meshes. The way that these are going to work, you see that blue dot? If that thing's annoying you, you can press O to make that go away. You can also turn it back on if you'd like while the UI is gone, if you just want to place meshes. But that dot is where a mesh is going to place. It's attached to the camera, so it's always the same ground distance from the camera, no matter what your height is. And it's always going to be on the ground. Just like with the tiles, you can hover over this block here to scroll through the available models, or you can hold Control and then scroll to scroll through available models. You're going to have a model count below the model's preview that's going to tell you how many of them are currently in the level. Whichever one has this orange tag at the bottom of it, that's the one that's currently selected. Again, it's just like Resident Evil. It's not oriented to the camera. The way that this moves is oriented to that compass. So 8 is going to move it backwards and forwards. 8 and 5. So imagine 8, 4, 5, and 6 are just like ASDW to move these objects around. 7 and 9 are going to rotate it. You can also hold Control to rotate by 1 degree, or to nudge by 1 unit, whatever it is. Click off of it, it's no longer selected. Click it again. The collision's a little iffy, but you'll always be able to get your object. You create an object, that's going to take that selection off of there. Delete works. There is no undo, but there shouldn't be anything terribly difficult going on right now. So I mean, you can just move these around. As soon as we start getting more models in, they're going to function the exact same way. And just like the tiles, you drop them into the models folder, build solution, and they're in. Saving. You're going to click up here, and this is going to feel a little bit awkward just because I had to write this typewriter, so it doesn't do everything that you're used to with the Windows typewriter. So hovering over this, it's going to turn orange. As soon as you click it, it's white. If it's white, you're ready to type. If you click off of it, or you hit escape, then you're going to come off of it. If you hit enter, whatever you typed in is going to go into it. So I'm going to type test. So test, don't give it a file extension or anything like that. Hit enter. That's now the name of this file. So then you can go ahead and hit save, or you can hit Control-Shift-S, just like in Visual Studio, to save your file. Once you've started up, so I'm going to go ahead and restart this. Say you just opened it up and you're ready to get to work. Go ahead, type in test, hit enter, and then hit load. Whatever that load time is, that is literally exactly the load time of the game, of that level. So the more things that you add to it, notice that was 2 seconds, 3 seconds maybe. Try and, I mean, if you find yourself building an environment that's so big that its load time starts to hit 30 seconds, think about scaling that back. I don't know when that'll happen. I don't know how big an environment would have to be to cause a load time like that.
Recreating all of Chicago.
Yeah. But I already know that I built an environment that is, like I said, 1024 tiles, 500 crates, 500 barrels, was running 60 frames a second. I saved the file. I've never let it reload it. I let it sit there for like 6 minutes once, and it didn't finish loading the file back up. So we're gonna hit a file size limit before we ever hit an engine limit, which is good. So once that's up there, you can just leave that file name there and just hit Control-Shift-S while you're working, unless you want to change the name of it. Whatever you do, though, whatever's there is going to overwrite anything. Don't put spaces in your file names. There is zero validation of text. So it accepts your text however you put it in. So just make sure you're using sensible names.
Question.
Yes?
Where does it store maps?
It's actually going to store them. Right now you shouldn't really need to worry about it because eventually I'm going to build them into XNVs. But it's storing them just if you're interested, which clearly you are. You're going to go into the Game Studio folder. Inside there, you're going to see Engine, Game Studio 2, Statistics, and then the solution. It's inside Game Studio 2, bin, x86, debug, and then it is whatever the name of the map is .bin. I'm saving them as binary files, so they are this monstrosity right here is what the level file looks like. That should be everything you need